guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am back with another Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition Season 16 review. This review is for episode 10, and this is the season finale, so if you did not see my reviews for episodes 1 through 9, please go check those out, and let's just get right into this review because a lot happened in this episode, and I was surprised at some of the things that took place at the end of the episode. So as you know, at the end of the last episode, the couples had to be single for the night and they got to split up and go to clubs. The guys went to the club by themselves. The girls went to the club by themselves. The girls did not have a good time at the club. They literally just sat there bored the entire time and ended up leaving early because they were all nervous about the lie detector test results. And then the guys, on the other hand, were having a good old time. They were partying it up, having so much fun. And Stu ended up getting really, really drunk and he fell asleep in a booth at the club. Now, when they all get back home from the clubs, they are all sleeping in separate rooms. The women sleep in one room, the guys sleep in another room because they wanted them to be separated for that night because, like I said, they had to make the big decision on whether or not they're going to stay together or if they're going to end up separating from each other. Now, both Michel'le and Bianca seemed the most nervous about the lie detector test results. Michel'le was more nervous about the ring ceremony, and then Bianca was very nervous about the lie detector test results because Bianca was saying that she knows that she was not pregnant by any other man the year that he's trying to say that she was, and so she, in my opinion, should not be nervous if she knows that she didn't lie about that. But at the same time, you know that it's reality TV and they could make it seem like you were actually lying about something you were telling the truth about. So I can understand why she's nervous a little bit. But Michel'le is nervous about the ring ceremony because she says she already knows Stu's not going to give her a friggin' ring. I would be surprised if the two of them ended up together at the end of this episode because her and Stu seem like they disconnected throughout this entire season. So they get called down to the boot camp room to get their lie detector test results. And remember, in the last episode, Judge Toller said that 4 people were deceptive on their lie detector tests. So Shawnee and Ceelo end up going first. And the question that Ceelo wanted Shawnee to answer was, are you committed to me out of convenience? And she said no, and the lie detector test determined that she was telling the truth. And she wanted to know from Ceelo if he wants to be with her permanently. And he said yes, and he was telling the truth, which was not surprising to me at all. I knew that the two of them were going to end up staying together at the end of the season anyway. So I feel like Maury, too, doing this. The lie detector test determined that was a lie or that was the truth. It's fun to be Maury for the day. Now, Ballistic and Jocelyn end up going next, and he asked Jocelyn if she was going to leave him if he doesn't propose to her by the deadline, and she said yes, and she was telling the truth, so she's serious about him proposing to her by May 1st. Let me just say that I don't agree with her on giving this man a deadline. They have not been together for a long time, and they clearly have a lot of issues in their relationship, so why she's trying to rush this man to marry her is ridiculous to me. You should want somebody to marry you because they truly want to, not because you're pressuring them, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't have standards and she should not want to get married and not want to be a girlfriend for long term, but at the same time it's like you have not been with this guy long enough to be begging him for marriage. So anyways, she wanted to know if Ballistic planned on marrying her at all, and he said yes, and he lied. He was deceptive. He really does not plan on marrying her, is what the lie detector test says. I don't know if it came out deceptive for him because they were arguing at the time that they took the lie detector test. That could definitely affect the test, but who knows? Michel'le and Stu end up going next, and I knew that this was not going to go well for the two of them. Now, she wanted to know if Stu was in love with her the first month that they met, and he said yes, and his lie detector test determined that he was lying about that. He was not in love with her the first month that they met. Now, he asked her, has she ever been romantically in love with him? And she said yes, and she lied too. She was being deceptive. She has not been romantically in love with him. I don't know why they worded that question that way, too. I feel like they word things a certain way in order for the test to come back the way that they want it to. But I wasn't surprised that the two of them were deceptive on the test. You could tell that there's a huge disconnect between Stu and Michel'le, so that definitely was not surprising to me. So Southby and Oshawa end up going next, and he asked her if she blames him for their daughter's death, and she said no, and she was telling the truth, which I'm not surprised about. I knew she was going to tell the truth on the test. Now, she asked him if he had feelings for the woman that he had an affair with, and they did a little twist when it came to this because, yes, he did answer the question, but Judge Toller decided not to give the results. She gave the results in an envelope to Oshawa so that she can decide on whether or not she even wants to open it and read it to find out if he was telling the truth or not, because they don't know if it's going to truly matter in the grand scheme of their relationship, because the affair was like 10 years ago and they still stayed together since then. So I just feel like Judge Toller and Dr.Ish felt like, I mean, if she wanted to read that for herself just so that she can get the closure that she needed, she should be able to do that. And if she chooses not to, then she chooses not to. So Chose and Bianca end up going last, and she wanted to know if Chose was emotionally involved with someone other than her. And he said yes, and he was telling the truth, which I was very surprised about. I thought that he was for sure going to lie on this lie detector test, so I was very surprised when he told the truth. Now, he asked Bianca if she was pregnant by someone else this year, and she said no. And again, they did the same thing with Bianca and Chose that they did with Styles P and Oshawa. They put Bianca's test results in an envelope and gave it to Chose so that he can decide whether or not it even matters for him to open that and what the results is even going to be, because the two of them are not actually in a relationship with each other. They came on the show to try to see if it could help them so that they could be in a relationship with each other again. But at the end of the day, would the test result really matter? Now, Bianca seemed like she was really pissed off about not having her results read, because out of all the other people in the house, she was the most nervous about these lie detector test results. And I don't feel like she should be as nervous as she is if she knew that she was telling the truth the whole friggin' time. Like, if you knew you weren't pregnant by anybody else, why did you care so much about the results like that? After everyone got their lie detector test results, Bianca started going off, okay? She storms up behind Chose and she's digging in his pockets, telling him to give her the envelope with her results on it, because she felt like it wasn't right that everyone else got to see their test results and hers weren't read, because she was stressing out about the lie detector test results the entire freaking day. Now, she claims that she knows that she was not lying about not being pregnant by another guy, but at the same time, she was stressing out so much about finding out the results. Now, he's telling her to stop digging in my pocket. You're breaking my bracelet, because she ended up breaking his bracelet. And, you know, she ends up ripping the paper a little bit, and he opens it up and reads the paper, and it said that she was telling the truth. So I don't understand why she was stressing out and acting out about it, okay? Now, she ends up jumping in his face, okay? And they're in each other's face. They're like face to face, like look like they're getting ready to fight. She swings on him and hits him in the back of the head. He gets pissed off. He starts yelling at her, looking like he's about to hit her. Now, he does not hit her, but she hit him. But he looked like he wanted to hit her back. And that's why I say that she should stop putting her hands on him or any guy in general, because you don't know if one day you put your hands on them and you catch them on the wrong day and he swings back on her. So I feel like she should really stop doing that. And I honestly feel like the two of them had went 1,000 times backwards when it came to the boot camp, because they're still doing all the same things that they were doing at the beginning of the boot camp. He was complaining about her putting her hands on him at the beginning of boot camp, and on top of that, him not being clear about how he feels about Bianca and if he's either going to take her seriously or take the other girl that he's dealing with seriously. And then Bianca's still confused on whether or not she even wants to deal with the back and forth with Chose. So they're not making any progress. Now, because Bianca's lie detector test came back that she was telling the truth, Oshawa realizes that Styles P is the fourth person who lied on the test, but they didn't end up arguing about it because she felt like it was years and years and years ago, and she just wanted to know the answer for herself so she could get closure. So because Dr.Ish and Judge Toller agree that Bianca and Chose are not making any progress, and they feel like it's not fair to the other couples who came into the house who have been taking the boot camp seriously the entire time, they decide that Bianca and Chose need to leave. So they end up going to talk to the both of them, okay? Dr.Ish talks to Chose and Judge Toller talks to Bianca. Bianca was trying to tell Judge Toller that she's over Chose and that she's been moved on, but she hasn't moved on, because you're in the house with this dude, you're still having these back and forth, you're still arguing with this guy, so clearly you have not moved on, and she needs to understand that she hasn't moved on, because the more she lies to herself and says that she has, the more she's going to continue to stay in this toxic cycle that she's in. Now, basically, Chose said that he's tired of Bianca putting her hands on him, and he feels like she's really insecure, and Dr. Ish was like, well, she is insecure, you know that she's insecure, and you play on her insecurities by the things that you do when it comes to your relationship or whatever you want to call it that him and Bianca are in. So basically, Dr.Ish and Judge Toller tell Bianca and Chose that they need to leave, and they both are shocked about it because they don't feel like they should have to leave. And basically, Dr.Ish tells Bianca that she needs to set herself free from Chose, and she was making excuses saying that she doesn't need to set herself free from somebody that she's in love with and who loves her back. But Dr.Ish was like, no, Chose does not love you. And she was like, yes, he does love me. How do you know that he doesn't love me? And Chose said, I never said I didn't love her. But it's like, okay, he probably does love you, but he loves somebody else too. You ain't the only person that he wants, and you're not the only person that he's talking to. He has other options while you're stuck on him. So I just think the two of them are in a whole toxic situation. And I also seen that she's pregnant now. I think it's by Chose. So I don't know. They have a lot of toxic shit going on in their life, and it did not end with marriage boot camp. So it is the ring ceremony, okay? And CeeLo and Shani end up going first, and Shawnee tells CeeLo that she loves him, but she wants more from him, okay? And then he says that he was afraid of her at first, okay? He's saying things to her, and it sounds like he's reciting a poem, which is funny because he does that shit a lot. And that's one of the things that she complained about in the season, but I also think that she thinks it's cute that he does it. Now, he says that he wants them to have a balanced relationship, which I think is definitely something that they need to work on. They came on the show complaining about each other. She was complaining about CeeLo's patience, and he was complaining about the way that she speaks to him. And I think that they were able to work some of that out while they were in boot camp. Now, they both end up giving each other their rings. I knew that they were going to stay together. I didn't think that the two of them were going to break up over this because they seemed like they already had a solid foundation in their relationship prior to coming on marriage boot camp. So I just felt like they were going to last anyway. Southby and Oshawa end up going next, and she comes out and tells him how they've been together for 25 years and they've had a lot of shit go down within those 25 years. Now, he was saying that he wants her to take her walls down and he wants her to be more open in their relationship because obviously she's going to be closed up and she's going to put walls up with him because he's had an affair on her before. Now, he ended up giving her a ring, and then she opens up her ring box and it's empty. And I was shocked for a second, and he was shocked. He looked like he was scared. He literally looked like his heart dropped. But then she ends up pulling her necklace out from, it was tucked inside of her dress, and then she ended up pulling the necklace out, and it had a ring on it. So they ended up deciding to stay together too, and I just thought it was funny that she decided to trick Styles P. So Stu and Michelle end up coming next. And I just knew for sure that the two of them were not going to stay together because out of all the other couples on the show, they seemed like their relationship got worse as boot camp continued. They did not seem like they were growing. They seemed like they were realizing that they weren't a match for each other. Now, basically, they said to each other that boot camp changed their relationship, which it absolutely did. But Stu said that he does understand why Michel'le is the way that she is because of the things that she's went through throughout her life. Now, he ends up opening up his ring box, and he has a ring for Michel'le in it, which I was definitely surprised about because he seemed like he was having doubts about their relationship. Now, she opens her ring box, and it was empty, but she ends up pulling the ring out of her pocket and showing him that she does actually want to be with him. She said that she changed her mind and that she realized when they were doing the whole lie detector test situation and preparing for the ring ceremony that she truly did love him. Everyone was surprised when they walked in hand together. They were even kissing, which they did not do the entire time that they were in marriage boot camp. So hopefully it works out between the two of them because I was definitely surprised that they decided to stay together. So Jocelyn and Ballistic end up going last, and he was saying that he doesn't like that she's giving him a deadline because he shouldn't have to do things based on when she wants him to do it, which I agree. I don't think that he should have to feel pressured into marrying her right away just because she wants a deadline and she wants to get married by December 21st or December 25th, I think she said. I think she said she wanted to get married on Christmas and she wanted to be engaged by May 1st. I think that she's doing too much with that, and I don't think that that's going to work out anyway. Now, she said that she doesn't want to stroke his ego all the time because she feels like if she's not stroking his ego, he's not happy and he feels insecure. I don't think she should have to stroke his ego all the time either. He should be confident enough in himself and enough in his relationship to where she doesn't have to constantly do that. Yes, you should be able to gas up the person that you're in a relationship with and make them feel good. But if they absolutely need you to do that all the time, then that's insecurities that they need to work on within themselves. Now, he was saying that she acted in ways that he didn't like on the show, and basically she was making a joke about it, laughing. And I don't know why she does that. Maybe she does that because she's one of those people who don't know how to act in serious situations, so she kind of just laughs it off. But I don't think that it was right that she was laughing when he was trying to be serious with her and let her know that he didn't like the way that she was acting, which I can agree. There was a lot of things that she did in this season that was questionable. But I think that he also did some stuff that was immature too, like complaining about the whole Stu thing. I think that that was too much. So they definitely have a lot to work on in their relationship. Now, she ends up opening up her ring box and she has a ring for Ballistic in it. But when he opens up his ring box, it's empty. She literally looked like she was pissed off, and she looked like she wanted to burst into tears and cry because she was not expecting him to have an empty ring box. But he ends up getting down on one knee and proposing to Jocelyn, and she accepts the proposal. Although I think it's sweet, I do feel like he only proposed to her for the sake of the show and because she was giving him a deadline and he didn't want her to leave him. I don't know if it's going to work out with the two of them getting married by the 25th. Actually, I know it didn't happen because the 25th has already passed and I haven't seen or heard anything about Jocelyn getting married. So hopefully they're still together, though. I feel like they have a lot that they need to work on, though. I feel like Jocelyn needs to learn to, she could be a little bit more submissive in a sense. Okay, she doesn't have to try to overpower him all the time, but he also needs to learn how to relax and not feel like she always has to be this submissive person to him every time in order for him to feel like a man. He should feel like one regardless of what she's doing, but she does need to tone it down a bit, and I feel like he needs to understand who he got into a relationship with as well. So the episode cut there, and so did the season. I thought this was actually a really good season. It was one of the more entertaining seasons. The seasons that I really liked of this show was definitely season 1, and I really liked, I think, season 7. But this one was really good as well. So I want to know what you guys thought about this episode and this season down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And thank you to all my subscribers for the support. I appreciate you all so very much, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.